Hi, Misha here, and we're going to do everyone's most favorite topic that gets the most views for any YouTube channel on YouTube. We're going to talk about revolvers. No, we get it, people love AKs. We love AKs too, but you can't do that all the time. We also do like a lot of other guns. I personally like milsurp, and Jay's been on a revolver kick lately, and I like revolvers too, especially milsurp revolvers. And we featured this one last year, the French Manurhin. And don't at me on pronunciation because it's essentially a made-up word anyway, so. This is the MR-88 version. The more famous big brother, the MR-73, was developed to really fire a continuous amount of .357 Magnum without any cracking. Manurhin put a lot of effort into building these tough. They made the barrel and cylinder extra tough. They used the cold hammer forging process to make them. And they basically did two general lines of the MR-73. They did a police version with more of a matte blued finish, and they did a sport civilian version with a very attractive high polish finish. Well, years ago I had quite a few police trade-in MR-73s. And now these started coming in, the MR-88. Now this is the simplified, the more economical version, but that's not to say it's a bad pistol. It has a very high quality hammer forged barrel, still has an adjustable trigger to some amount, double single action system. This one has a 3-inch barrel. This is police surplus, I believe, out of France. This was imported by MCF or whatever it is. Basically, this was imported by Centerfire Systems, or at least the owner of Centerfire is related to the import company. So, and they're the ones who sold these. This is the one we shot a while back in the video. Neat gun. It's in 38 special. It has these Troush grips on it. Lanyard. Everything with the lanyard's neat. And of course, it has a stainless steel finish. Great gun. Well, from the same importer, and really I believe from the same police department overseas, this year, Centerfire, whatever their import name is, has started bringing in Ruger SP101s. And these are in the same configuration with a 3-inch barrel, 38 special, Troush grips, stainless steel finish, double, single action trigger, the usual. So, I thought we'd compare these real quick. Now, again, we did a video earlier, so if you'd like to see the Manurhin in action at the range, you can check that out. And if you'd like to see the SP101 in action, Jay will be, or has, put up a video with his range impression. So this is kind of a bridge video, just comparing the two. And it's a good comparison because the two are very similar. In fact, it's been said, although I don't know if it's ever been verified, that the early MR-88s, which were introduced in 1988, 1989, were built on Ruger frames. Likewise, the SP101 here was introduced in 1988/1989 technically, and was kind of the compact version with the GP100 being the full size, and both of those replaced the old Security 6 series. Now the biggest difference, the Manurhin has a 6-shot cylinder, pretty standard. Whereas the 101 has a smaller 5-shot. Again, this is kind of meant to be the more compact. They both are double single action. They both have the firing pin mounted in the frame, not the hammer. This has a recessed lanyard ring. They very skillfully modified the grips to allow for it. Kind of cracks me up. But yeah, both are in quite good shape, especially the Rugers. It doesn't seem like the PD fired them all that much. So what do we think about just fit and finish and everything else. Well, let's talk about triggers. Double action. That's on the Manurhin SP101. Definitely the Manurhin has the nicer trigger. It's smoother, with not much of a hiccup, a hitch, or staging. It's also a little lighter. The 101, while not bad, definitely has a bit of staging and is a heavier trigger pull. Now, as I said, the Manurhin does have an adjustable trigger to some extent. The SP101, they do offer this, some models with an adjustable trigger, but not the 38 version here. By the way, both of these have been offered over the years in both a civilian sporter and a police model. These are both obviously police. What about single action? No real travel at all. It just immediately breaks. Takes a little bit of force, but it's not at all unpleasant. It breaks very cleanly. The Manurhin might have just the tiniest amount of take-up. Tiniest amount. But it also is a little lighter. So I think the 101 maybe has a cleaner break, but a little bit heavier. And as far as dry firing, normally I'm not a fan, but a couple of things on these because of the firing pin in the frame, and because these are police surplus guns, guys. Trust me, they've seen worse. As far as cylinder lockup, that has a lot more to do with you know, how much they've been shot, but this Ruger is pretty tight. I would say 3 of its chambers basically have 0 play. The other 3 have a minor, very minor amount on the Manurhin. Now this is an older gun. A little more play there. Less, but still some. Less, but still a bit. Basically none, tiny amount. Basically none, tiny amount. So, a little more play in the cylinder chambers for the Manurhin, but that could just be age. And this is also, again, a 6-shot versus a 5, so something to keep in mind. As far as aesthetics, that's kind of personal preference. This has a nicely contoured barrel. The Ruger is more slab side. Save on a little bit of machining. It's kind of a personal taste type thing. Jay prefers this style. I'm not saying it's wrong. It has kind of a future vibe to it, whereas the Manurhin has a very traditional revolver silhouette profile. One more thing I want to mention: the cylinder release is Ruger style, because it is pretty much a Ruger style cylinder on the Manurhin this time. Pretty typical ejector. It's flared out and knurled a bit. Very positive, very little play. Very smooth. On the 101, similar style ejection. This has more of the modern Ruger ejector, a little more rattly, no knurling or flaring on the end. Still just as effective, but not, still has the slot in it. So on those terms, I definitely think the Manurhin has the just nicer feeling ejector and all that. So again, as far as the cylinder latch and everything, that's pretty much the same. hammers are very similar. This one is very just straight across and checkered. Same with this, just trough sights. On the Manurhin, the hammer has a little bit of an angle to it. And a little more, still trough sights, but a little more fancy front sight and top strap. So that might make a difference to some. See, a little more basic there. I just thought these happened to literally just be available on the table. Why not do a little comparison? Both are nice. I've actually am pretty impressed with the condition of these SP101s. I think Centerfire has them on their site for around $400. And they do have these nice French grips. Pretty ergonomic. Basically they're kind of Hogue inspired, but a little different. The 101 does feel a little slimmer, a little lighter. No surprise since it's more of a compact. The Manurhin has a little more bulk to it. But then again, it does hold an extra round. So yeah, which is for you? The Manurhins, when they had them, they were around $500, so about $100 more, which is honestly a pretty good deal for a Manurhin. If you find a 80s or 90s import commercial, they're pretty big money. So for a shooter, if you want a really finely made French revolver, I think main production ended around 2000, 2002. I know there's a small company that still assembles some and still services them, but I think Manurhin, well, Manurhin themselves is out of business as far as that goes. And of course, Ruger is still kicking, although some models of the SP101 have been taken out of production. It just depends. And again, we know revolvers aren't the most interesting and cutting edge topic, but if you've made it to the end of the video here, we do appreciate you staying with us. And if you could, and haven't, check out our other couple of videos where we take both of these to the range. If you have any questions or comments about either one, we'll do our best to answer. If you could, like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to help support us, please check out the link to our Patreon page. This is Misha, and we'll catch you very soon next time.